Hey guys, Matt here. Today, going to get back into 1 Timothy 4. Going to just brush back over 11 through 13 and then we'll do a separate video and finish off 14 through 16. Yesterday we looked at Paul giving Timothy a command. Command and teach these things, right? Let no one despise you for your youth. We have to remember that Timothy was in his early 30s here. And when you look at the beginning of 1 Timothy, you'll see Paul says, grace, peace, and mercy to you. Actually, he probably says grace, mercy, and peace to you. And the mercy is a new thing in Paul's greetings. Incidentally, when Paul does these greetings, I mentioned this a couple of days ago in the video about you don't have to pretend to be Jewish when you're born again. Paul says this a lot, grace and peace to you. Grace and peace. You notice how he never says peace and grace, right? Because there is no peace without the grace of God. There is no peace without being born again. First you're born again and you get the grace. And it's a free and merited gift from Jesus Christ. You repent and you put your faith and trust in Him. You forsake the world and your sin and you give your life to Jesus Christ. And what happens is He gives you the grace. It's beautiful. And it's unmerited. There's nothing you can do to earn it. It's just a movement of faith. It's just by faith you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, and then you get peace. And this isn't just the peace that you're sitting on the side of a lake and it's peaceful. This is more. This is the peace that you were waging a war against a holy God, a war that you cannot win, and you no longer are at war with God. You are no longer at enmity with God. You are born again. You have peace. So it's grace and peace. But he says mercy. And the reason he says mercy is because Timothy's young, right? And young preachers need mercy because young preachers might have a tendency to get in the flesh or to say something stupid. We've all done it. And here we see Timothy's going to need grace, mercy, and peace, right? He's going to need that peace that surpasses all understanding. He's going to need mercy to do it properly, because we don't just go in as a resounding gong with a hammer and attack false teachers. We do it biblically, because remember, it comes from love. This charge comes from love, which issues from a pure heart, sincere conscience, and a good faith. I think I got those mixed up. It's a pure heart and good conscience and sincere faith. But so that's what Paul's telling Timothy. Okay, Timothy, you're going to need grace, you're going to need mercy, you're going to need peace, and because you're going to have to command these things. But don't let anyone despise you for your youth. And what's the best way to come across a critical teacher, a false teacher who's going to be mad at you, is to set an example. Be an example in conduct, in speech, in love, in faith, and in purity. Okay? So that's what Paul's telling Timothy here, and it's important. That's why in 2 Timothy 1:7 Paul says, Timothy, I have not given you a spirit, God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. It takes power from God to come against false teachers. And it's the love of God that does it, because when we come against false teachers, the hope is not that they'll be embarrassed, not that we'll make them look like donkeys. The hope is that they will repent and put their faith and trust in Jesus Christ. What a joy that would be, right? So, I have not given you a spirit of fear, Timothy, but of power and love and a sound mind. You need a sound mind when you come after false teachers. You need to know your doctrine. You need to know the doctrine of Jesus Christ. And you also need the sound mind that is from the gospel of peace, because false teachers are tricky and they just do a little shifting. And if you're not careful, if you don't have a sound mind given to you by Christ, you can be confused and deceived yourself. Alright, that's all I wanted to say on that. I'm going to stop now and pick back up into verse 13.